Hey guys, have you ever had difficulty separating this latch from the door pin? In this video, we're going to show you a preferred door removal method for high-strength steel vehicles that reduces door skin delamination and effort required to break the connection. Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Deanna. Let's get started.
The pin and latch assembly has evolved over decades to improve occupant safety. Its primary job is to keep the door closed during a crash, and today's designs do that extremely well. However, this strength creates a challenge for rescuers. When we try to spread the door outward using traditional techniques, the door skin and inner frame often delaminate instead of releasing at the latch. If a spreader is placed in the gap and pushed outward without capturing the entire door assembly, the door will usually delaminate before the latch releases. One effective method is the door forward technique, which is designed to avoid this problem. Instead of pushing the door outward, we move the door forward toward the front of the vehicle. This forces the pin and latch to fail in their weakest direction, minimizing door delamination and reducing the need for repeated spreading attempts that dig at the latch. There are typically 3 mechanical reasons why a door won't open after a crash. The door is locked, the pin latch mechanism is damaged or non-functional, the door frame jamb has changed shape and is clamping the door in place. To eliminate the first issue, always unlock the door and try both the interior and exterior handles. Place a racquetball under the exterior handle to keep the latch lifted. This prevents a working latch from becoming jammed during tool operations. Once structural pressure is relieved, a door may even fall free from the pin if the racquetball remains in place. Begin the door forward technique by creating a purchase point on the front fender. Squeeze the fender vertically, halfway between the shock tower and the firewall. This gives you access near the trailing edge of the fender. Be sure not to capture the coil spring with the lower arm of the spreader. If the crash has already created this purchase point, you can skip this step. Next, skin the fender away from the top rail by pushing it forward, using the door hinges as an anchor point. This exposes the area around the hinges. If needed, remove the fender completely to gain clear visual and tool access to the hinge assembly. Now, widen the gap between the leading edge of the door skin and the vehicle's A-pillar hoop structure. Your goal? Create enough space to access and hook cut the hinge connection points. Whenever possible, cut high-strength steel hinges rather than breaking them with a spreader. Cutting reduces the risk of sudden energy release.
When using a spreader, the rescuer is either in structural mode or access mode. In structural mode, the objective is to fracture a high-strength steel connection somewhere on the vehicle's body. In an access mode, we're simply removing sheet metal to access that structural point. Moving the fender forward is an example of access mode.
It is helpful to identify the purpose of each mode and the objectives of each spreader movement prior to engaging the vehicle. Skinning the fender and opening the leading edge of the door skin are examples of access mode. Close the cutter on the top hinge while keeping the tool body parallel to the floor pan. If the cutter begins to swing upward or downward as the cut starts, open the blades and adjust your angle of approach to correct the movement. Once you've stabilized the cutter, complete the cut. If the tool is set correctly, it will move toward the vehicle without rolling. Repeat this process for all hinge connection points, including the wiring harness and the travel limit strap. With all front door connections defeated, move on to the latch pin. If the racquetball is still in place and the door was being held only by compression in the hoop, simply cutting the hinges may allow the door to fall free from the pin. If the door still won't release, you'll need to tunnel toward the pin and latch assembly again, pushing the door forward, not outward. A technician at the front of the door should guide it away from the cut hinges, while another technician uses small, controlled spreader movements to advance the door forward. Keep the spreader perpendicular to the vehicle at all times. Any outward vector, even slight, will load the latch in its strongest direction and can cause delamination. Make sure your initial spreader movements are focused on pin access. Don't shift to a structural push until the spreader captures most of the door profile. If carried out correctly, there will be minimal or no delamination around the pin and latch. The latch will fail in its weakest direction, exactly what we want for a clean, predictable door removal.
This door forward technique allows the latch to fail in the non-working direction, eliminating the delamination on the door structure. Also, the pin on the B-pillar remains intact for future operations.
Thanks for watching. Follow Hurst for more.